Hello, thanks for joining me today. Good afternoon. I want to, in this video, state how the flat earth movement started with me. It has been a great journey. 2 years ago, in late 2015 and in early 2016, I was introduced into the flat earth theory by a friend. Though at the time I was intrigued by the idea of the flat earth, I still never thought it was possible. I kept looking at it. Anyways, some things I even laughed at, some other things I think, this makes sense. So from January of 2016 to about November 2016, it became an everyday thing for me to wake up, take a cup of coffee or tea, and then look at the flat earth theory. At least that's how we used to call it then. Now, so after 10 months or about 11 months of examining the information available and also figuring out other things on my own, it became quite clear that the flat earth is the truth. Do we know the exact layout or the exact form of the flat earth? I don't think so. But I think, and I still believe, that the map, the Gleason's map, or the azimuthal equidistance map, is actually the real flat earth or the real map. But I'm not certain because I've not carried factual or very great experimental proof, or I've not gone on the expedition to prove that. One thing I know for sure is that no one has debunked it. Rather, it has only been denied by people who can't adequately show why it doesn't work. To me, it makes sense that the Gleason's map is actually or is accurate because it's easily converted into a globe model, and that's how this deception all started. They just turned the accurate flat earth map into a globe and said this is where you live. And many people say, oh, the Gleason map is just a flat representation of the globe, which is wrong. If you look at the bottom corners of the map, it clearly states that the sun moves in circles around the tropics, meaning that the creator of the map knew that the earth didn't move. But also, Alexander Gleason wrote a book called Is the Bible from Heaven? Is the Earth a Globe? And in this book, you can easily see for yourself in the book that he is a flat earther. Now the thing is that his map wasn't released until 1892, but the flat earth map, now called the azimuthal equidistance map, has been around since about the year 1000, possibly earlier. That is older than the oldest known globe map on Earth, which comes from 1492, and that is actually around the time that this whole deception started. It was during the lifetime of Copernicus and around the time of the creation of the Jesuits. We don't know all the exact details because we know that history has been rewritten time and time again to benefit those who have put themselves in charge. But if you are honest with yourself, you can see clearly that this heliocentric globe earth deception began around 500 years ago. Anyways, let's get back to the maps. Let's just say for a minute that the flat earthers don't have a good map. Well, either do globe earthers. Now look at these extracts. NASA can't even make the same layout twice for some reason. Notice in this official NASA image that the layout of the Earth is never the same. In 2012, NASA, North America is this size. In 2002, North America is this size. In 2012, it is this size. And in 2015, it is yet again a totally different size than both of those I've shown earlier. But the fact of the matter is, none of these pictures are real anyways. They are all computer-generated images. NASA employee Rob Simon has gone on record saying that the Earth is Photoshopped because it has to be Photoshopped.
It is Photoshopped, but it's has to be.
There is artistry to creating the world what I imagine it to be. Unfortunately, I'm not an astronaut. I've never been to space. Now, why don't we have any pictures of the Earth? It is 2018 and you think this is normal? Maybe because we can't leave the Earth, just like in the flat Earth model, which has a sky barrier known as the firmament or the dome. NASA tries to be clever and said that we can't leave the Earth due to the Van Allen radiation belt. Right now, we only can fly in low Earth orbit. That is the farthest that we can go in this new system that we are building. It's going to allow us to go beyond and hopefully take humans into the solar system to explore the moon, the Mars, asteroids. There is a lot of destinations that we could explore, and we are building this block component in order to allow us to do that eventually. Can you beat that? They have not gone past low Earth orbit. That's what they say. The kinds of technologies that we are testing out on space stations are definitely helping us with our goals of going beyond low Earth orbit. But if you are smart, you know that this is a cover-up for the truth. We can't leave Earth because Pioneer, the science guy, even tells this straight up.
One thing I really want your generation to embrace is that the Earth is a closed system. We cannot leave the Earth.
Still argue otherwise. Not that we need Pioneer to figure this out, because we don't. He is a paid liar or a paid shield. But they put the truth out so that later when it becomes too much or too hot to bear, they can just say, well, we have been telling you the whole time, but you act like you don't hear it, and you just make excuses for why they say these things, and it is ridiculous. You can observe for yourself that water does not cough, and this is funny. People will say that raindrops prove that water does cough, but have you ever seen a gallon of water in the form of a sphere, let alone 26 quintillion gallons of water? Well, at least that is how much water they tell us is on Earth. Should we believe them? Probably not. But we do know that it is a lot of water. Either way, you have never been seen any experiment to show that a good amount of water can cough or take the shape of the sphere. So your raindrop argument doesn't work if you actually take the time to look into the flat Earth and all of its angles. Becomes 100% crystal clear that we do not live on a spinning ball flying through infinite space. Now, some folks say that it is very impossible to be nighttime and daytime on a flat Earth at the same time. But if you actually looked, then you will know that it's completely possible because the sun is closer and smaller. Don't be deceived, the sun is not 93 million miles away, folks. It is far closer and smaller than you've been told. Now, this brings me to the division that flat Earth is caused among the so-called truth community. A lot of people that suffer heavily from the cognitive dissonance says that the Earth or the flat Earth information is a shock, and it only serves to divide us and discredit those of us that says the information is correct. But this is not true. It is only an excuse for cowards that are scared of the information for one reason or another. Some people don't want to accept the flat Earth because of the implications of the Creator. Some people can't accept it because of the mental conditioning coming from school and television that they have been dealing with their whole life. Whatever the reason might be, I can understand up to a certain extent, but if you have really done or dove or delved into the flat earth information, and I mean really dove into it, like you let go of your preconceived notions of what the earth and you or is, and you examine it unbiased, there is no way that you will come back thinking that the earth is a spinning ball. You may come to the conclusion that you honestly just don't know, or you may have 100% you may be 100% sure that the earth is indeed flat, but you will never accept the heliocentric model of the universe after genuinely looking into the flat earth for a good amount of time. Now, personally, flat earth has given me reasons to pay attention to people. It is simple, really. If they are flat earthers, then they have the ability to overcome cognitive dissonance. Therefore, they are sincere in their pursuit of truth. Not all flat earthers do, because some are obvious shields or faith shields. But also, you don't have to be a flat earther for me to take you seriously. It is just that flat earthers and ballers are skeptics that admit they don't know have more credibility, because flat earth is the truth. But I can't be mad at anybody who hasn't taken the time to look at flat earth. I encourage you guys, folks, to look at information available that support the flat earth, and believe you me, you will be convinced. Flat earth has been everything but proven 100%. But what do you expect when there is a 500-year and running conspiracy to hide the truth from you and I? People have covered up the truth, and we are trying to uncover it. If it's not supposed to be a piece of cake, so brace up, friends. So leave your ego behind if you are really about the truth, because this is bigger than all of us. Flat earth and the movement is bigger than all of us. But if we work together, I believe we shall overturn the lies that have been fed to us and our generation from the age of 3. It is not about me. It is not about Eric Dube. It is not about Jeranism. It is not even about ODD. It is not about who found it first or what not. It is about the truth and getting it across to people in the most successful way possible. And how do we do that? That can only be achieved if we come together to push this. All I want to see people wake up and take their power back. At least take their minds back. That is where the power is. And that is what they have done to us. Mind control. They have taken our minds. The flat earth truth does away with all of the mind control. It does away with the bogus theory of evolution, that you evolved from apes. How ridiculous, and what could be more funny than that? It does away with the dinosaur deception. It does away with the lie that there are aliens out there. And though we still end up with some questions and answers, our minds are freed. And that is how real change is going to happen in this world of ours. Thank you everybody for watching. Let's remain awake and seek the truth at all times. The world will be a better place for all of us if the truth lives. Thanks for watching. Please drop your comments and suggestions on the next video in the comment section. Subscribe and share this video with friends and family. Thank you for watching. Have a great day, folks.
How many of you have ever seen a map that looked like this before? How many of you have ever seen this map?
Seen that map?
Yeah. Isn't this the map that you use K through 16 in the United States of America? Now, folks, look at this map. According to your social studies teacher, what is the equator?
Right
An
down
imaginary
there.
line where?
Yeah.
Around the center of the Earth. Then if this map is correct, then the equator must be here, and Chicago has a tropical climate. Now, folks, this is the map that we use in the schools. Look where the United States is, in the middle of the world, right? Now, here's the USSR, which is no more, of course, Mongolia, China, Africa, India, Pakistan, Afghanistan. Now, look over here. USSR, Mongolia, China, India, Pakistan, Afghanistan. Two Indias here. We have 2 Indias. Did you know that? Now, people, this is a flat-out lie. Look at the size of Greenland and the size of South America. According to your social studies teachers, what were continents? Largest land masses on the face of the Earth, right? Now, do you know the continents? Africa, Asia, Australia, Antarctica, Europe, North America, and South America. Did I say Greenland? Well, Greenland isn't a continent, but it's a huge landmass according to this map, right? The map is a flat-out lie, people. If you read the legend on the map, here it says, in fact, South America is actually 9 times larger than Greenland.
Are you saying the map is wrong?
Oh dear, yes. Look at Greenland.
Okay.
Now look at Africa.
Okay.
The two land masses appear to be roughly the same size.
Yes.
Would it blow your mind if I told you that Africa is in reality 14 times larger?
Yes?
Here we have Europe, drawn considerably larger than South America. When it's 6.9 million square miles, South America is almost double the size of Europe's 3.8 million.
Alaska appears 3 times as large as Mexico, when Mexico is larger by 0.1 million square miles.
Germany appears in the middle of the map when it's in the northernmost quarter of the Earth.
Wait. Relative size is one thing, but you're telling me that Germany isn't where we think it is?
Nothing's where you think it is.
Where is it?
I'm glad you asked.